It's your boy, C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, coming to you live from the living room. Anywho, let's hop into it, guys. Let's get into the charts. Let's look at some stuff. We're going to talk about Bitcoin today. If you like Bitcoin, I like Bitcoin, that makes us friends. Anyways, got a couple of things I want to bring up. Everyone's talking about, is this the bottom? Is this the top? Are we going to move sideways? Is Bitcoin dead? I don't think so. I was actually talking to my fiance about this earlier today. Worst case scenario, like nothing's expected, nothing's guaranteed in crypto. But what is guaranteed is that the halving is going to happen. The Bitcoin halving is going to happen. We are going to have a halving. We're going to have the halving in 2024. It's going to be between April, May, or June of 2024. That is a fact. That is going to happen. And from a fundamental law of economics, from that standpoint, supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. It's a fundamental economic understanding, a fundamental law, if you want to call it, in economics. Less supply, more demand. More demand, or like, yeah, what is it? Sorry. If there's low supply but high demand, that makes things more valuable. High supply and low demand makes things less valuable, right? So, anywho, Bitcoin supply. Let's assume that the demand for Bitcoin stays the same. Let's say there's no increase in demand, but not that there's going to be a drop in demand, right? Bitcoin's only increased demand year after year. It's only had more increase for demand. But let's say it stays the same. Let's say that it doesn't grow, it just stays the same. The supply is going to get cut in half. The supply is 100% getting cut in half. The supply being put into the markets will be 50% cut, and even if the demand stays the same, mathematically speaking, logically thinking, that only means that the price is going to go up. So, I mean, at least by mid to early 2024, we should see some stuff going on. And historically speaking, for Bitcoin, each halving, things turn up. Like, we find the bottom in the bear market at least a year before the halving happens. Anyways, little intro on that part. We're going to look at the macroeconomics here on Bitcoin. We're going to look at the long-term time frames and just see how things go. Let's see. Let's just see here. So, let's see. I wanna do this. I'm gonna add on the dominance. That's what we're gonna do. BTC.D. We're gonna do that. It didn't let me have the option of putting it. Hold on. Normally gives me the option. I feel like I missed something here. There we go. New price scale. Okay. So I can kind of waggle it over here. Bitcoin dominance is in percentage, right? If you're not familiar with the dominance, that is it's basically how much market control by market cap Bitcoin has in comparison to the rest of the market caps of all other cryptos in the space. You can see back here in 2014 when we started calculating this metric, all the way up until the 17 altcoin cycle rally when ICOs came out. Bitcoin maintained a dominance well above 90%. You can see it over here on this left side. And then altcoins came out. We had an altcoin boom. ICOs were a thing. And, of course it lost its value because a lot of altcoins got... And it's not that Bitcoin lost its value. It's just that it lost its dominance. Okay? And then if you remember here, let's just kind of look at this. Let's look at how the price interacts with it. Okay? A lot of people don't pay attention to the dominance. It's not something you got to look at every single day, but it's definitely worth checking on every now and then. And it's a good point of reference to understand maybe where the bottom is. We're talking about the bottom. Let's find it. So, first and foremost, dominance was at its all-time highs here. We got the bottom, right? Right? And, there weren't a whole lot of altcoins, whatever, but we didn't really start turning up. These bigger green moves didn't happen until the dominance for Bitcoin really started coming down. Okay? So just off of that first thing, we can assume that down in dominance is good for price for most coins. Okay? I wonder if we can add... We'll just keep it at this for now. We'll look at some other... I don't know. Let's actually do total crypto market cap. Oh, damn. I did it again, guys. Let's see. We're gonna add the total on here. So this is the total crypto market cap. Excluded Bitcoin. Should I exclude Bitcoin? Maybe. I'm gonna exclude Bitcoin just for the hell of it. Okay, so here's the total market cap. That one's in a light blue kind of color, we can see. All right, I'm gonna see if I can move things around to kind of make it, yeah, so that it's more visible. Okay, so make sure my head's in the right place. All right, now that we've got everything established, only 10 minutes into the video, I'm gonna click on the log scale again to get this more appropriate. All right, so we can see that as Bitcoin dominance was coming down, the market cap for all cryptos except for Bitcoin was going up. And you can see right here at this peaking point, it was the same area as this bottoming point for dominance. They're like very close to each other. So in other words, Bitcoin gains dominance. It's not necessarily that it's gaining price, because if you look, this little run up here, as this comes down, Bitcoin's losing price. It's just altcoins were losing price faster. Okay? Again, Bitcoin's coming down here, but the dominance is going up. That doesn't mean Bitcoin's going up in price. It just means it's gaining dominance relative to the rest of the market cap, the rest of the cryptos out there. So we can see when Bitcoin dominance is going up, altcoin dominance is down. You know, that's basically what this total market cap number 2 is. It's, you know, it's if you compare it like this, it's basically that. As Bitcoin dominance comes down again, altcoin market caps increase. They increase. So what am I getting at here? What am I getting at here? What I'm getting at is the fact that I'm going to take this and blind it now. The fact that dominance is still at a low. Bitcoin dominance is without a doubt at a low point. I mean, even if it was up here at, and remember the dominance is over here on this side. I know I got a lot of numbers running, but just bear with me. The highest that we've gone relatively is like 47 to 50%. Okay? The last cycle, whenever we bottomed out, we were at about 56%. And really, altcoins continue to bleed even after that. You know, Bitcoin might have been doing a higher low here and had higher prices than it did down here, but altcoins continue to bleed throughout all this time. Bitcoin just kept gaining dominance and dominance and dominance. We finally had this last flush out, then we ran to the upside. What we have not had yet in this whole bear cycle, right? We have not had a significant increase in Bitcoin's dominance, nothing above the 50. And I think that we need to see that. I think before we actually find a bottom, even if Bitcoin's price doesn't go down, or even if it does, whatever, you know, it's irrelevant to price. What we need to see is the dominance of Bitcoin come up again. We need to see that happen. Basically, we need to see a lot of the dumb money, well, a lot of the scam projects, we need to see them go away. We need to see people get their money and just, you know, take it away from the scam projects, put it back into something that's more real, like the Bitcoin, you know. Anyways, like the Bitcoin. So that's kind of my thoughts. Looking at the dominance here, I don't think we're gonna find, or at least be able to say that we're near the end of this bear cycle until we get some dominance for Bitcoin around 54 to 57%, and maybe even higher. It might have to go all the way back up as high as 70. If we look at it from a trending perspective, you know, gotta take my magnet off. Here we go. You know, maybe we have to come all the way up to 58%. Maybe we don't. Maybe we have to come up to 55%. Maybe it's later and we have to come up to 51%. That's all the way in November. That's a year. That's over a year from now. And that would put us at, if you look all the way to the left, remember it's over here that the percentages are. I mean, in November, that would put us, in December even, that'd put us at 51.7%. I mean, I think we're going to find the bottom before then. I really do think we're going to find the bottom before then. So, I mean, honestly, I'm expecting something higher than 52%, maybe even higher than 54%. If we find it before the end of this year, before January, we can expect something, yeah. I mean, shit, in January, we can do 58%. So if we find the market bottom, the market low, or dominance starts going up at least, and suggesting that we have found the low, again, price can do whatever it wants. Just because dominance goes up does not mean the price has to go down, but just because dominance goes up does not mean price has to go up either. It can do either of those things, but it could also move sideways. While altcoins sell, Bitcoin could just maintain a current level and everything else sells off, the dominance will go up. And the dominance could go as high, I'm going to give it a 58% limit there, just based off of this little trend line here. It could go higher than that. It could not go that high. But I think something at least above 50% to 58% is what we're looking for. And the reason I'm bringing this up again is because I don't think it's safe to say that we found a bottom in Bitcoin until that happens. We had this here. We maintained this level at 6. If we're looking over here now at this number, we maintained this level at 6K for, and I'm even going to delete this so there's less numbers on the board. At 6K for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then on the 10th month, we broke through it. And if we look down here at the dominance, right, we were below 50% all the way up until July, and we still had 4 months to go until we hit that low point. So just because we get to 50% doesn't mean it's over yet, but it means we're getting close. We're getting close, within a quarter of a year, more or less. Anyways, that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on Bitcoin. I think it's important to look at the dominance, especially whenever taking into consideration that we're finding a bottom, because we're not going to find a bottom as long as everyone's still holding on to all their altcoin dreams. Everyone's talking about the altcoins still and like how they're going to make them rich. If you were in this last cycle, or if you're in cycles before, you'll know that people basically need to get flushed out. The weak hands need to get flushed out before the strong hands can come in. Not even come in, but remain dominant, prevail dominant. I don't know. Prevail. I can't talk today, guys. Prevail victorious. There we go. Anywho, I do think altcoins will have to sell before we can identify a bottom. Maybe this was the low. Maybe the price at 17,585 was the low. Maybe. But here we are 1, 2, 3, 4 months into this range. It took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the 10th month, we broke it. Could we move sideways? Could we just do, maybe not even go up and down like that? Maybe we move sideways for a little bit. Yeah, we definitely could. And if we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months into it, it's October. Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That put us in March of 2023. March of 2023, just so you know, is roughly, give or take a month or three, give or take a quarter of a year. That's roughly a year from whenever the Bitcoin halving starts. That's roughly around the time that we tend to see the bottom come into play, aka the beginning, the next phase of the bull cycle starts. It's happened before. We can look it up right now. Bitcoin halving cycles by year. I don't know. Yeah, let's see. First Bitcoin halving cycle occurred on November 28th of 2012. So let's go to a year before that. Let's go to November 28th of 2011. Let's just see what the price is. I am going to take this away. I think we're done with the dominance now. We don't need to look at it. Take this line away. So November 28th of 2011. Well, very literally, that was the bottom, right? The bottom. 1 year before was the bottom, all-time low, and arguably the start. It wasn't here that we started. It was here that we started the first bull cycle, okay? And then 2012 came along, and here, let's see, here's where the halving started, right here. We pumped up a little bit coming into the halving. We pumped a lot afterwards, but we did the most a year before. Let's do the next one. The second halving occurred on July 9th, 2016. So let's go to July 9th of 2015. Okay? July 9th, 2015. Here's July. And would you look at that shit? Would you look at that? That is 1 month before the bottom. And this literally is the low. You can see it's a slightly lower low right here. Here's July 15th. The halving was July 16th, right? And here we were next month finding the low. Very, very close. Within a month of finding the low. Or maybe a month and a half, whatever, of finding the low. First one was on the month to the month, literally, where this is like within a month and a half. And then boom. Let's see July 2016. Where was that? let's see, July 2016, right here. And actually on the halving, again, we didn't do as impressive as we did before. We kind of stalled out for a second. The big moves happened before and after the halving happened. Okay? Everyone expects the halving to be this good thing, and it is. It really is. And if you look at it from a macro perspective, how we're going over it, it is a good thing. But it's a kind of buy the hype, sell the news event, at least the last 2 cycles. That's what it looks like. So let's go to the next one. The latest halving was on May 11th, 2020. Okay, May 11th, 2020. So let's do May 11th, 2019. Wouldn't you know it that April, May, right here, wasn't at the bottom. Wasn't at the bottom this time. But it was, within 2 months of that low range that we had. And I mean, if you bought instead of 12 months before, if you bought 14 months before, you bought at a pretty good price. The low did happen on this one a little bit before. Maybe it got front ran because everybody's expecting that the buying a year before the halving is a good thing. So maybe it's got front ran a little bit, maybe. But we did end up coming lower. We did end up going lower this time. We didn't have that run, unfortunately. We didn't, March of 2020, the halving happened literally here in May. And if you can see, we actually, again, we're kind of stagnant around the halving. But the big moves came after. And the big moves did come before, but a little bit more than a year before this time. So, when's the next halving happening? Next Bitcoin halving is expected to take place May 22nd, 2024. I've seen different things say May. I've seen different things say April and June even. So it could happen any of those years. But let's say it happens in April, just to be ahead of the game. Okay, April. We're going to put a line there. April of 2024, right there. That's April 2024. You can see it Monday 1st, April 2024. So if we were to go a year before then, that would be right here. April. Oh, come on. Come on, computer. April 2023, right there. So that's a year before. Have we bottomed yet? It's possible. It's possible. If we take into account here that May right here was a year before the last halving, we bottomed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months before. Here we are, April 2023. If we were to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months before, would put us in November of this year. Could we do it another month before, or like, I guess 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months before, almost 2 years before the halving? That doesn't sound right to me. Could it happen? Could it be possible? It could. It very well could. But we've got the rest of this month, which is 10 days left, 10 days, 4 hours. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months until we're a year out from the halving. And I'm just thinking, if we go back even further and we look, if that's not enough to convince you that the bottom might not be in, if we look at any bear cycle that we've had, I'm going to put on my magnet here, trusty old magnet. From top to bottom, 93% drop. From top to bottom, I don't know what this was. I wonder what this little thing was. That was a 75% drop. This little guy was a 75% drop. Okay. That wasn't even a real bear market, right? Remember that. Wasn't even a real bear market at 75% drop. 86.9% drop, real bear market there. 93, 86, okay, we're getting less drops. Let's go to the last cycle. 84, pretty close again, but less. We're getting smaller drops. Okay, what are we at now? We're at a 75% drop, guys. And it sure as shit doesn't look like this little drop over here. It doesn't look like it's a fake bear market. This looks like the real deal. And let's say we were to drop 80%. 80% alone would put Bitcoin at a price of $13,700. And could that happen? Could we get 4% less of a drop than we had last time? Yeah, definitely. Could we have even 10% less of a drop than we had last time? Definitely. If this was the low, yeah, it could happen. But pair that with the fact, 10% less, we haven't actually seen that ever happen. 93 to 86, actually almost 87, that's not a 10% drop. 87-ish to 84. That's not even a 5% drop. Could we see a 4% drop, or even, I mean, like at the most what we've seen was a 7% drop, right? I think that's right. 94, or I guess 93.7 to 97. It'd be like a 6%, 7% drop, yeah. So a 7% increase would be putting us at 77. 77, and that's compared to like the short history that we've had. 77% drop would put us at just under $16,000, which is a price I've had targeted for a while now, for months now, actually. A lot of people are getting on board with that price, and a lot of people, I've been saying for months since I started my channel. You can look at my first video, 14 to 16,000. That's where we're going. 14 to 16, somewhere in that range. I hear more and more people now this month. I can't believe how many people that I've been following who I admire. They're finally getting on board with this. They think 14 to 16,000 is going to happen. So that tells me 14,000 a lot less likely. 16,000 very likely. And if we were to do a 76% drop, which would be the lowest drop that we've seen by far, but it does line up with something that we've seen in the past by diminishing regressions, right? We have diminishing returns, we have diminishing regressions. We can see it here. You know, there's less percentage drops per bear market. But my main point is, I really don't think this is the bottom, guys. I think we've been moving sideways now. We've been in this range for 5 months, when last time we did this before our final drop, we did it for 9 months, and on the 10th month we dropped, right? Here we were kind of in this range. I guess we like came down and we were here for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 11, right? That's pretty close. And on the 12th month, I guess on the 11th month we started the drop, but on the 12th month we had the drop. That's not too far away from this one. And then here, to be fair, we just had a very big drop, but that was the first bull market rally to the first bear cycle. That's going to be very volatile. It's kind of expected. Could we right now have only been chilling for not even 5 months and be looking to find an upside? I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Especially with the fact that the Bitcoin dominance is so low. All these altcoins, all these people holding their bags, their moon bags, hoping that it's going to come back. They're at 70, 80% drops. They're going to experience some real pain, man. Your Solanas, your Avalanches, your Cardanos, your Ethereums, your XRPs even, Doge. All these coins, I love a lot of these coins, man, and I have faith that a lot of these coins are going to be successful in the future. But if you don't think there's more pain coming, you have not been in crypto for long. You've definitely not been in crypto for long. And there's a lot of things that are different about this bear cycle than there were last cycle. A lot of things have indicated that this could have been the bottom, but we have, for the first time, broken out of, I don't know, like this channel that we were in. I had it drawn. I don't know. I'm going to delete all this stuff here. We're just going to refresh the page, see if that works. Yeah, this channel here that we were in for literally since 2013, you know, we've got 2 touch points right here. Even if you don't believe in this channel, just look at this red line. Act like that's a trend line, that red line. We literally tested it as support, confirming it again here, broke through it and touched it as resistance. We've yet to see the fall down from that resistance. Okay, I don't know what this yellow line's doing here. I'm going to delete it. I'm sorry it's even there in the first place. But my point is, I don't think we've seen the worst of things yet. If you think people are going to buy here, you might be sourly mistaken. You might be. There's a lackluster in volume. We haven't had the volume come in that we like to see. I mean, to be fair, I guess this does have the same volume that we had over here on this drop. Not going to lie. But then a lot of volume came in here. We did get a second drop. Maybe we come up and maybe we come back down. I don't know. That to me doesn't seem, it seems possible. Clearly it's happened before, but that doesn't seem like what's in the cards for us. Because also, for the first time in Bitcoin's history, let's see. I'm almost done, guys. Bear with me. For the first time in Bitcoin's history, we've not just gone below this 50 and maintained below it. We've rejected it. We straight up came down and rejected it, where before it was support, where over here it was support. Our long-term RSI, the 123, was support. Every time in its history, since really, I guess the first time, 2015, that's, you know, it's 2022 now. In 7 years, we have never gone below this. We're below it now. We're showing weakness. And I don't think we've seen the repercussions from that weakness yet. I don't think it's done. And the reason I don't think it's done, if you don't remember from my first video, I'll go over it, is I think we're in this is the grand finale. This is my final piece I want to throw in here. So I think Bitcoin right now is in a five wave move to the downside, an impulse wave actually is what they call it. This is an Elliot wave theory term, Elliot impulse wave here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can see it from the top, from the all-time high to this right here. This is our first wave. It's our first wave down. Our second wave here is to the upside. Third wave to the downside. Fourth wave to the upside. And we are potentially in our fifth wave right now. The way that these work, the reason it's called an impulse wave is because every odd wave, so 1, 3, and 5, are impulsive moves to the downside, where the constricting the what's the word, man? It's the constricting waves. I forget that the bounces, the rebounds, the consolidation waves, there we go, are smaller and they're not as impulsive. You see how impulsive wave 1 was, wave 3 was, potentially wave 5. We've yet to see the major impulse from wave 5 yet. The fact that this wave 3 is bigger than anything else, if it's drawn to this degree, you know, even if it goes down, we were talking about 13K earlier, even if it goes down here, wave 3 is without a doubt the biggest wave. That's classic behavior in Elliott wave theory. You want to see wave 3 be, it doesn't have to be, but odds are it's not the smallest wave. Wave 3 can't be the smallest wave, and it's definitely not. And it normally tends to be the biggest wave. Wave 3 and wave 5 tend to be the biggest. Anyways, I'm losing myself. The consolidation waves, which are waves 4 and waves 2, tend to be small and they meander, right? You don't get this impulse down and then an impulse up. No, sorry. You don't get impulse down and then impulse up. It's like an impulse down and then consolidation, weak rally, then an impulse down, consolidation, weak rally, impulse down. If we go to Elliott wave theory, Elliott wave forecast here, I brought this up before. Wave 2 is 50% blah, 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 blah of wave 1. If we were to measure from top to bottom, wave 1 here, that's wave 1. Wave 2 literally bounces off this 50% line on the dot. I'm going to delete this now that we have that. Okay, now that we have it established. 50% on the dot, a little bit above it, but basically right there. That's a 50% bounce. So that meets the first criteria. Wave 3 is 1618, 2618, blah, 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 of the bottom from wave 1 to wave 2. So let's measure that. So here's the top of wave 2. Here's the bottom of wave 2. 2618. Wave 3 is a 2618 extension of this move here. And if we look, wave 3 is a 2618 right there, extension. Second criteria met. It's very specific. This isn't a guessing game. It's very specific. And I mean, it's a guessing game no matter what, but the criteria here is specific and it's being met. Wave 4 is blah, 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 but no more than 50%. Basically what this is saying is it's a weak rally. Wave 4 is a weak rally. It can be 14.6, 2.3, 3.82, whatever. It's not as strict. It's not as specific. The only specific thing is it cannot be more than 50% of a move. It has to be a weaker rally. So let's try that. Let's see. Wave 4, if we measure from the top here, the top, all the way to the bottom, wave 4 didn't even get to a 382. 50% would have been at 29, 28K, which a lot of people were calling for on this rally. I was calling this rally as a BS move. I was saying it was a fool's rally, and it definitely was. We got these bearish engulfing candles afterwards. You can't deny it. Like, look at it. It took a long time to get up here, and it took 2 weeks to just flush it all out. This was a fool's rally if I've ever seen it. We're getting more volume in coming down here, you know, a little bit more volume. We had a nice spike over here, not going to lie, but it's not, I don't know. I'd like to see more volume come in, honestly. So waves, basically what I'm getting at is from this criteria here, from what it's saying. Waves 1 has met the criteria, or wave 2 has met the criteria. Wave 1 doesn't really have any criteria, right? It's just wave 2 has to be a certain percentage move of wave 1. So wave 2 meets the criteria. Wave 3 meets the criteria. Wave 4 meets the criteria. And we've yet to see wave 5. But if wave 5 is to make the criteria, you measure it like this. From wave, so the first measurement would be an extension of wave 4. Okay. Wave 4, let's see. There's 3 ways, let's see, blah, blah, blah. There are 3 different ways to measure wave 5. First, wave 5 is inverse 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 6, 1, 8, retracement of wave 4. So we'll put the lines there. So 1272 here, not the 1236, but it's close enough. I like the 1272 a little bit more, so we're going to use that. Right there, ish. I know it's going through the 1414, but the 1414's line is this red line. That is the 1272, I promise. And the 1618 right there. So anywhere between 14 and 16,000. This is where I got my 14 to 16,000 idea, because I think we're going to hit this first target. I don't think we're going to go lower. We could. And if we were to go lower, what would it look like? The second wave is equal to wave 1. So let's measure that. Let's do that. So from the top here to, and it's an ugly line, but it will be perfect. There we go. To the bottom. And it's the height that matters, so it doesn't matter if it's a little squiggly. From the top of wave 4 to where that line is, that basically puts us right there at just below $13,000. Probably even a little bit lower than that, but I'm just going to keep it there. And then last but not least, the third way to measure it is wave 5 is 618% of waves 1 to 3. So if we were to measure that from top to wave 3, right, that's, here, I'm going to delete this so it's not as noisy. From wave 1 here, this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 down. From wave 1 to wave 3, 61.8% of that move. So here's the 618, and we go all the way down. Oops, that was a little bit too much. Let me see if I can, maybe if I use an info line, that'll be a little bit more precise. There we go, all the way down to the bottom there. If we were to take that and put it at the top of wave 4 again, right here, that gives us our third and final measurement, technically our fourth, there's 4 lines here. That put us at just around $11,000. Maybe actually this line could come a little bit lower. That would put us at about, yeah, just below $11,000. So those are our targets from our 5-wave theory. And right now, potentially, we could be in our wave 5. We definitely could be in wave 5 right here. You know, again, we have wave 1 here, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. That wave 4 is not drawn properly. It should have been like that, but whatever. The magnet kind of messes with the drawings. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we're looking for wave 5. We could be doing it right now. I do think that we're in wave 5. There was a little bit of hope that we might actually still be in wave 4, but I'm starting to doubt it now. And long story short, guys, a lot of people are expecting prices to come down to 10K. A lot of people, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about prices below 14K, 13, 12K, 10K, 9K, all that's kind of expected. And what's expected does not normally happen. Normally, we don't know what's going to happen, but normally that's not what happens. 14 to 16K, which are price targets that I like, they're not just price targets that line up with that, but I mean, like it's the fibs. Like even if we didn't have the wave theory, you look at the fibs. I mean, 1272, the 1618, that's like the golden pocket. You know, that's where you want to buy on extensions or sell on extensions. If you don't believe me, let's just keep those lines in mind here. But let me see. Maybe I can make them invisible. I don't know. I'm not going to spend time making them invisible. I'm just going to delete them. Just to show relevance here. From this high here to this bottom, I mean, Bitcoin literally topped off at the 2272. We found support on the 1618 once, twice, broke through it. We found resistance on it. We're finding support right now on the 1272. And in fact, what we did after finding support on the 1618, we found resistance and then we went lower. We found support on the 1272. Now we're finding resistance on it. Maybe we go lower. Maybe we go lower. And could we go all the way to 14K? It's possible. It lines up with the range I'm looking for. I personally think we're not going to go farther than, much farther than 16K. If we do go below 14K, it's going to be a very quick wick. It's going to be a bigger wick than this, something like what we got over here, something like what we had on our last major low. It's going to be a very big wick. But I would be surprised if we had a monthly close or a weekly close below 16K. I'd be surprised, or at least below 15.8, because I think that's where that 1272 was, 15.9. So yeah, really around 15.9. I'd be surprised if we had a weekly or monthly close below there. Could we wick below there? Certainly. Anyways, Pair that with everything else we've talked about. Pair that with the dominance, the fact that we have not seen Bitcoin gain its dominance back. There's a lot of money in alts, very shifty alts. I'm not saying that there aren't legitimate products that are trying. I'm just saying maybe the space is overvalued. Maybe after all this drop, all these coins that we all know and love, maybe they're still overvalued. Maybe we need a little realization. People need to get hurt a little bit more. We need more capitulation before we see a turnaround here. We have 6 months. Let me see. Right? April 16th or 7th. What was it? April. So May 22nd. Sorry, I want to say April for some reason. So May 22nd right there. That's the next halving. That's a year out from the next halving. The last cycle went 5 months before then. So if that's May, we go to November, right? November 22nd. It'd be basically right there. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more weeks to go before we hit that. I would not be surprised if in the next 5 weeks we saw a dramatic drop, much like we've seen before. We're going to get some big red candles just like this. Maybe we see a little pump beforehand. Maybe Bitcoin comes back up to around 22K, and then we get a drop. Bitcoin's always the dumpiest, right? Right when it looks the pumpiest. It's always the pumpiest, right when it looks the dumpiest, as Ivan on Tech would say. I'm going to use his quote, but I'm not going to steal the credit. That's him, and I just think it's funny, and I think it's true. You know, Bitcoin looks the pumpiest. We're breaking out to new all-time highs, and that's right when it's the dumpiest, right? We got a higher low here. It looks the pumpiest, and then we get the dumpiest. Looks the dumpiest right here, and then boom, we start the next rally. Looks the dumpiest right here, and boom, we got a nice rally. That's just how it is, man. So could we come up a little bit before we drop down? Yes. But I do think we're going to drop down. I'm not sold that this is the bottom. It could be. If you buy here under 20,000, you're not going to hate yourself in 4 years. You're not going to hate yourself in 2 years even. But I do think we're going lower. And I know I've spent a lot of time saying that, but that's what I got. That's what I got to say. I hope everybody has a good day. Stay safe. And everybody, all the media right now, all the YouTubers are talking about how, you know, just get exposed. If you're waiting for lower prices, like why? And I get that. You know, it's smart, but do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. It's your money. You do what you want to do. You're the one responsible for it. You don't even listen to me. Don't listen to them. Feel what's in your gut. Do your own analysis even. And if you can't do analysis, if you're not like a pro, whatever the fuck that means, if you're not a pro, then maybe just DCA in. Start buying. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It takes the stress out for sure. But if you're a trader, if you're waiting to catch that bottom, if you are under the impression that it's coming, be patient. Be patient. That's all I got to say. That's my main recommendation. It's just be patient. It's coming. And it might be coming sooner than we thought. I thought this month was going to be bullish. Got proved wrong. It's okay. I can be wrong. But what I don't think I'm going to be wrong about is that this was not the bottom. I would be surprised if we went below 14K. I would not be surprised if we went just a little bit below 16K. But that's where I'm going to buy. Right there. I'm going to buy at that first target, and I'm not going to look back. Because I don't care if it drops much below that. I'm just going to buy right there, and I'm going to hold. That's my strategy. It does not have to be your strategy. I'm not recommending that to anybody. I'm just saying what I'm going to do. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know. If that happens, we're going to get the RSI here in a, what's it called? Oversold position. That wouldn't be bad. That's actually a good time to buy normally. Not always, you know, but that could be a good time to buy. And that's what I'm looking for. So hope everyone has a good day. Take care. And thank you for watching. If you could leave a thumbs up and a like, a comment, whatever, subscribe, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you.